Hi everybody, it's Matthew here from Bead Spider. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make another fantastic little bracelet. This one is called our Hidden Valley bracelet. It has a base using right angle weave, and then on top of that we're going to attach some really cool little chevron shapes. The great thing is you can use as many or as few colors as you want with this design. It's just, you can do it random, you can do it in like a regular pattern, you can do it as a single bracelet, you can do it double width, triple width, even wider if you want to. And the great thing as well is that if you wanted to, you can make it extra long so that it wraps around your wrist. So it's quite a cool little design that you can play with in so many different ways and adapt it to be exactly what you want it to be. So as per what we're going to actually be learning today, the first thing that we will be doing, I will show you a couple of different methods for doing right angle weave. Then once we've done that, I'm going to show you how to add those chevrons on top. If you haven't seen so already, if you check the link in the description, we have a kit that you can go and get. Today is Friday the 8th of July, so for the next week or so, it is going to be on discount where you can get up to 15% off the kit. If you want to go and get that one, go check out the link in the description. It's right there for you to go and have a look, and you can make along with me. Now, as per usual, I am live, so let's see who we have joining us. It looks like we got plenty of people, which is fantastic, as per usual. We have, who have we got with us? We have Carol. She was the first cab off the rank. She says, hi all, so thanks for joining us, Carol. Azra is here, which says, hello Matthew, Bead Spider team, and all beaders around the globe. Yeah, I guess it's a very international show, this one. Comment in and tell me whereabouts everybody, where you're all from. Like, for example, Daphne here says, good morning, everyone from beautiful Canada. I myself am in the UK. I'm in Cheltenham. We have Stacey Bailiff who's here. She says, good morning, everyone. We have Margie is here from South Carolina. We have Annette, who's watching on YouTube. Laurie, who's watching over on Facebook, who says they're watching in Wisconsin. We have Anita on YouTube. We've got Amber, who is in Alabama. We have Marissa. Irina is here from Croatia as well. So you can see it's a real international audience. Who else have we got? We've got Camille, Linda, Melanie, thanks for joining us from Wales. Angelica is here as well. Jan, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us, Jan. Seems like long time no see. So thanks for popping by. Darlene is also here as well. So yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching. If you are brand new, by the way, and you've never seen my channel before, I do a live stream every Friday, same place, same time, so 3 p.m. or whatever time it is right where you are right now. I think 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast in the US. It's probably somewhere in the region of midnight maybe in Australia, for example. But yeah, so comment in and let me know where you're watching from. And of course, everybody, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And now let's get into it, shall we? So, one last thing to tell you before I begin. The Ivy necklace kit. That one was a very, very popular one that I did last week. Which, let me just pop that up on the screen so you can see it. I made the little feather piece from the Ivy design last week, which you can see this is this little set just here. This one is still on sale. If you want to get this, there are 5 different colors that you can get it in. But if you want to go and get it, the discount ends this Sunday. So that will be the 10th, I think. But anyway, this one, which has 4 little components. If you missed the video, go check it out. I did it on my channel last week. So anyway, I'm going to demonstrate today the design that we're making is this one here. Oh, I don't have my fourth colorway. I've only got 3 of the colorways here. But anyway, this is what the actual design looks like. And as I said, you can do it as a single, a double, or a triple width, which is this one just here. So this is the single width, here is a double width, and this one is triple width just there. So you can see there are 3 little rows of chevrons in this one. Another cool thing is that you can do it completely random, like I have with this one up here at the top. You can do it more organized if you want to, with a very simple repeating pattern, or you can go for something a bit more sort of halfway between the two. So yeah, go check out the 4 different colorways. The 4th color is a gorgeous green tone, which I don't seem to have with me, which unfortunately it's the double wrap one that will wrap around your wrist twice. I wanted to show you that too. You do have enough beads that if you wanted to, you can do a triple wrap that will actually wrap around your wrist 3 times. So with this particular design, the first thing we're going to do, if I turn it over, you can see it is on a right angle weave base. You can't see so well because we've given you transparent beads to use for your base, so they're a little bit more subtle, but thankfully for today's tutorial I'm going to be using these opaque beads. The base is made from size 8 seed beads. You can use any brand, it doesn't matter. And then on the top, I'm using Czech size 10 seed beads. So you can also use your size 11 Japanese seed beads, Miyuki, Toho, things like that if you want to. It's up to you which colors you use. Also, you may have noticed I have a fantastic new bead mat just here, which I'm going to be using today. We've just got them in and I want to test it out. So it looks like I've got that green bracelet just handed to me just here off screen, so you'll be able to see that one now too. Yeah, this fantastic bead mat, I'm going to be using this during the stream, but I'll tell you a bit more about that later. But let's actually do some demonstrating, shall we? So anyway, this is the 4th color here. So like I said, if you want to do it as a wrap bracelet that will go around your wrist multiple times, you can also do that. Once I get to the end of how to do this process, I'll also show you how you can make this fun little beaded clasp on there as well. So this is all part of the plan for today's tutorial, so make sure you stick around, and if you haven't done so already, like, share, subscribe to our channel, all of those sorts of things. So like I said, I'm going to begin by making myself a little right angle weave base. You can do this single needle. I'm going to do it double needle. There's a couple of different methods which I'll show you. One which is, I'll show you the difference and why you might use a various one or the other and so forth. We'll just zoom on in a little bit. So yeah, the reason that you might want to choose the different methods is how neat and regular the back of your design will be. So for example, if we have a look, hopefully you can see it just here. If you have a look at the back, see how it's not so regularly shaped looking, this right angle weave. This was done with single needle right angle weave. And then if you want to compare it, for example, with this one here, where you can see all of those dead straight lines up and down, giving you that nice cross shape, hexagonal, neat, accurate lines happening there. This is done with the 2 needle method. So see all this? See how it doesn't look quite so straight? Some of the beads are a bit sideways. It still works just fine like this, but it is definitely easier to do your design when you've got this better, more regular shaped base. So this is the difference between doing it with single needle, and this is what happens if you do it with the 2 needle method. So I'll show you one method for single needle, and then I'll show you 2 different methods, one which is like the regular method, and then a second one which is like a fancy pants new method that I've come up with while I was making this design, which is way quicker. So if you stick around, you'll see both of those, all 3 of those, before we move on. So like I said, I am going to be using size 8 seed beads for my base, which are these ones just here. I've chosen an opaque color just because I think that it'll be easier for you guys to see. Obviously, the kit includes clear ones, but it's more difficult to actually see the edges of the beads, so we're going to go with the opaque ones today. So to begin, grab yourself a length of thread. I'm using Spider beading thread as per usual, and put a needle onto both ends. So it's just going to thread on. You need about 1.5 meters, which is somewhere in the region of like a bit over 1.5 yards. I don't know, just short of 3/4 of a yard probably. We'll just go through there. Come on now. Get in there. Tell you, I should have pre-threaded my needle. There we are. So once we have that, we can just thread our needles on to both sides, like so. And we can see I've got a needle on one side, a needle on the other. And the easiest way to begin is just pick up 3 beads, and we're going to slide them down to the middle of our thread just here. So see that? There's 3 little beads. I'll move these out the way so that it's a little clearer for you to see. So there's my 3 beads. Bring it roughly to the middle, and now what I'm going to do is with a 4th bead, I'm going to take 1 needle through it in one direction, and then I'll take my other needle. So see how this thread is going in this direction? We're going to take our other needle through this same thread, but in the opposite direction. So back in this direction over here. So one thread goes this way, one thread goes that way, and then when I pull that all the way through, I want to make sure that it is nicely in the center. So I'll hold both needles together, and then I can just slide this down until I find the middle of my work just there. And you can see this is going to create our first little right angle weave. So that little cross of beads, that is called a right angle weave. So I'm going to secure this one because it's a little bit, you want this one to be a little bit firmer. So I'm going to take just one of the threads. It doesn't need to be both. You can do both if you want to, but I'll take one of the threads around all 4 beads just to really lock that into place so that it is extra firm. So we just pull through all the way, and then through that 4th bead once again as well. There we are. And now you can see that is nice and secure, and they are sitting perfectly, one to the left, one to the right, one to the top, and one to the bottom. So the standard method for how you do right angle weave, and I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see this a little bit better. With 2 needles, the standard 2 needle method, essentially you pick up 1 thread on the left, you pick up one bead on the left, 1 bead on the right, and we're going to thread those down to the top of our little piece just here. So there we are. Now I'm going to go once again, pick up 1 little bead. I'm going to take 1 needle through it in this direction, the other needle through it in that direction just there. So opposite directions to one another. So thread on through there, just like so. Pull that all the way through. And then I'll take the next one in the opposite direction as well. And we're going to go all the way through this one too. So now just pull on these threads, and you'll see it's all going to just come down until it sits nice and neatly on top, there we go, of our previous little right angle weave. So it doesn't matter if it comes a little bit loose, because as we work it will stay nice and tight. But there you can see they are very, very nicely shaped, that these 2 beads go out to the side and the other one goes to the top. There was a question about what beads I'm using, so I will just pop at the bottom of the screen here the materials that I am using so that you guys can see that just for now. So these ones are size 8s, and I'm going to do this again, this little method here. So I'll pick up 1 needle on the left, 1 needle on the right, like so. I'm going to slide that on down, And now I'm going to pick up one more bead and I'm going to take both needles through it in opposite directions. So this one's going to go through in this way. This is very, very simple, basic little stitch just to create our base section. So I won't spend too long on this. This is going to be the final iteration of the old method, the standard 2 needle method. So then I can pull that, and there you go. You can see that's going to become relatively tight. The good thing is if the beads aren't sitting quite right just yet, because they're relatively even tension on both sides, because there's 2 threads, there isn't one that has 2 threads going through it each time or anything. They stay relatively straight like this when we start working. So there you go. That's the next one. Now I'll show you the 1 needle method. So the 1 needle method is very, very similar essentially, but we're just going to do the whole process with just 1 thread. So I'll just take this one here. Let me just see which one is a fraction longer from having worked with it earlier. There we go. It's this one here. So if I take this 1 needle, I'm going to pick up all 3 beads. So this one's going to be the side bead here. This one is going to be the top bead up here. And this one is going to end up being the bead that's over on this side here. Now, the 1 needle method, I will admit, is a little bit quicker than the standard 2 needle method. For sure it is. But, like I said, I don't find that the finished design actually ends up being as neat because of this process just here. So each one of these beads has 1 thread going through it, except now this one, because I need to come back to the top up here, I'm going to have to go through this bead. So one side has 2 threads going through it, the other side only has 1 thread going through it, and that gives us that slight imbalance between the different sides of our right angle weave. So now, for example, this side is going to be tighter than the bead on this side. So it's not ideal, but if you want to, once you've done this, you can go with your, get my correct needle, you can continue doing that single needle method if you don't like doing 2 needle method. So I'll do it once more in that I'll pick up 3 beads. I'll just get rid of that little ticker. You don't need to see that one anymore. Get rid of that. And we'll slide that on down to the bottom. We'll go through, so we're looping around in a circle. And as we pull tight through here, that's going to create the next little right angle weave that's going to sit above our work. And now we're going to go up this edge bead and then up to the top bead there. So like I said, the thing with this method, it is probably quicker. It's probably a little bit easier compared to standard 2 needle method, but it does give it sort of an irregular tension along those beads. So you can do it like this. You won't struggle. It's just that when it comes to actually adding your chevrons on top, it can be a little bit more difficult to see exactly which bead you need to go into because it will just depend on the tension. So I'm going to just bring my other needle up to the top and then I'll show you my new 2 needle method, which is way, way quicker. It is 1,000,000 times quicker, I tell you, than doing it the standard single needle method. It's faster than that, and it's also quicker than the original 2 needle method, obviously. So let's just end up so that we're both coming out of the same bead so that I can continue with 2 needle right angle weave. The cool thing about this version of, I say in inverted commas, two needle right angle weave, is because you can actually do it with 1 needle, because you're going to do 1 step at a time. So it will use 2 threads, but you only need to use 1 needle at a time. So you can do all of it with just 1 needle if you only have 1. So anyway, if I just slide this on down, what I'm going to do now is actually pick up lots and lots of beads, which are going to give me the full length of my design. So I won't pick up too many, just so that it doesn't take too long. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go 6. 6 beads. Maybe I'll go 8. 7, 8. An even number is what we need. So there we go. I've got my 8 beads here now. So this strand, I can now put this down, and if I was working, if I wanted to make like a full length bracelet, or if I wanted to make like my wrap bracelet, you can do pretty much the full length of your wrap bracelet, which is really, really long, in one single go like this. So you can do the full length like that, and hold that there. Then you come in with your second needle like this, and what we're going to do is pick up a bead, and then we're going to go backwards through every second bead. So we skip the first bead, and we go down into the second bead. So just pull that tight just there. Then I'll pick up one more bead, and I'm going to skip the first bead and go backwards. So the reason I say backwards is, see how this thread is going up in this direction? Let's bring this thread downwards towards our work very quickly. I'm going to do a full video on this method, like a pre-recorded one, a bit later. So once you've done 2 little right angle weaves, see how it's a little bit loose at the beginning here? See, like that? You can just give that a little tug, get it all nice and tight, and that will fix that right angle weave. So now again, all 4 beads are on this needle. I'll take 1 bead in this direction. So pick up 1 bead, we'll go skip the first bead and down the second one all the way. And then we will pick up 1 bead more, and we'll skip a bead and go down this one here as well. Pull like that, and now just pull tight, and there you go. Look how quick that was. We made the second half of our right angle weave in the same in a fraction of the time that it took us to do this first section. So it is really, really quick to do it in this method, see? So you can just keep going if you want to, and make it even longer. I'm going to just keep this one short so that the demonstration is a little bit quicker, but that is my method for how you can start your right angle weave. There's a second part to it which I think you will love, which I will also show you in just a moment. But essentially, once you've got this, we're going to now weave across so that we're coming out from one side of our work. We need to make our right angle weave section double the width so that we have something that we can actually attach our chevrons onto at the base. Now, Deb just here says, wow, I love this method. I'm glad you liked it. I reckon you might even like part 2 even more. I'm going to give myself a couple more little rows. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 more beads, just because it doesn't take long, just so that I've got a little bit extra space to show you my other method. So pick up 1 bead, go skip the first bead, and down the second one, just like that there. I don't know why I'm trying to do this with my right hand. Seeing as I'm left-handed, you'd think I would want to do it with my other hand. Pick up 1 bead, go backwards down the second one. So skip the first bead, backwards down the second one, and there you go. I've already done another 2 right angle weaves. Quick, isn't it? So anyway, to progress from here, what we're going to do now, funnily enough, by the way, you can see where I did my 1 needle method. This section just here is where I did my single needle. I did 1 or 2 methods just here. This is the part where I did it with just 1 needle. So see how that one is a bit wonky, and all the rest are lovely and straight. This shows you perfectly, actually. This is what happens when you do it with 1 needle, and all the rest is what happens when you do it with 2 needles. So there you go. Now what we want to do, because we want to add that second row, we want to make sure we're exiting from one of these side beads. So if you prefer working on this side of your work, which I'll put it into right hand view for all of you guys, just to make it seem like I'm right-handed, because I know the vast majority of you are. So anyway, and there's a question just here. Do you always pick up even numbers? Yes, you do need even numbers. Otherwise, you'll end up with 1 bead, fewer or something. So an even number of beads. But if you don't you don't have to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just pick up 1 more at the end if you need to. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to weave around so that I'm exiting from this little bead just here. So in terms of this thread over here on this side, all I have to do is come down and out of that bead. With this thread, I'm going to weave around, so go from this one into this bead at the bottom, and then out of that bead as well. So one thread will be going up in this direction, and the other thread will be coming down here. So I'll just do this very, very quickly. We'll go down into here. The good thing about doing this as well is that this little method will also firm this last little right angle weave a little bit more, just to make it that little bit firmer so that it's not going to come loose when we're doing our work or anything like that. So I can just go up that little bead there too. We'll pull through here. Come on now. All the way through. See how it's getting a bit loose? Don't worry about that. It will all tighten in just a minute. So if I just take the second needle now, back down and through this little bead here, this is the thread that is coming out up the top. When we come down here, you can see it is now, both threads are coming out this little side. So when I give both of these threads a tug in opposite directions, you'll soon see that they start to, they now stick out nicely from this one bead and sort of help to tighten things up a bit. So there you go. I'll rotate it sideways so you can see that I'm now coming out of the side of my work. See that? I'm coming out of this side of my work. So now that I'm here, I'm going to work along my work here, adding more beads. I'll show you the, first things first, what we're going to do is add on the first little right angle weave, which will be at the top. So this one, I'm going to use like the single needle type method for this so that it's a little bit quicker. So essentially what I'm going to do is pretend like how I was doing it before. I'm going to just add one group of beads here. And how I'll do that, I'll do it as though it was one needle for now. We're going to go, this will make it a little bit more secure, because it's important to try and make your endmost ones try and be that little bit more secure, because if these ones are all firm and tight, it will help the center to stay firm and tight as well. So anyway, I'll take this one through here, which will bring me around there. There we go. See that? That's going to create myself that first little right angle weave. And now because I want to work along my work in this direction, I need to make sure I'm exiting from this bead here, finally. So when we zoom in a little, I think. So when we're currently coming out of here, I can go through 1 and 2, pull it all the way through, like that. And now we can go, we want both of our threads to be exiting this one edge bead. So I'll take one needle through it in one direction, like that. And now I'll get it out the way and I'll bring my other needle also through that same bead. So see how I'm currently exiting from this bead just here? I'm going to take my needle through that same bead. So we kind of always want to end up so that we've got one bead coming out of both sides. See, like that? So now if you were going to, whoops, I'll just move it up a little. There we are. So now if we were going to do the one needle method, basically you would pick up 2 beads. So you go 1, which will be the one that sits here. I'll do it. I'll do it. It's fine. We've got time. 1 and 2. So pick up 2 little beads. This is the one needle method here. So 2 beads. And then if you imagine this bead here is going to become the top of this, like the edge of this right angle weave here. So if you think this is one side of a right angle weave, this is the other. We need a bead here and we need a bead here. So this one is going to become the bead over here. This one is going to become the bead up here, which means we need to go down through this bead and across into this. So these 4 beads here, the 2 that my needle are through plus this, are going to be the ones that give me that little right angle weave. So see that? There's that next right angle weave just there on that particular line. So see, we've got a right angle weave here and we have another one just here. But once again, we need to move ourselves up so that we're exiting from this bead here. So let's just go through there. and through this one. And that would bring us into position ready to add our next right angle weave. So if we were going to continue in one needle, you would look at it and you would go, this is going to be the bottom, this is going to be one side, so we need a bead that's going to be at the top and a bead that's going to be at the bottom. So if this is going to be one side, we're going to have to go through that bead, then pick up 2 beads, 1, 2, and then we're going to go through these same 2 beads again to give us 3, 4. So that when we pull that is going to give us our little right angle weave just there. See that? So this is, I tell you, you're getting a full tutorial on right angle weave here. You're going to learn all the things. Welcome to Jean, by the way, who says hello from Rhode Island. So thanks for joining us. So there you go. This is how we do our next. So that's the method for how you do single needle right angle weave. So now I'll just bring my other needle very, very quickly up into my work. I'm going to weave it round just nice and fast. Where am I coming out of? Here. So just give me a few seconds. I'll bring my other needle into position so that we can do some 2 needle method. Oh, let's hope I didn't just catch it. Oh, I did. Doesn't matter. So where's my other needle? Here it is. I'll just weave it nicely into position so that we are both exiting from the same spot. And I can continue with the slower version of 2 needle method. So just go through here and through that bead as well. There we go. That'll bring me into position. There. So yeah, if we were doing 2 needle method, so you can see, just pretend we'd already done all of this with 2 needles. We're going to continue in 2 needle method. So the cool thing about this is when you're doing 2 needle method, like this, we know that whichever thread is coming out on the inside of our work, we're going to take that through the next bead along. So we start by going through that first bead along our work. There we go. So that is coming out there. This thread is now going to be up here and into there. Now what we'll do is on our second thread here, because we've got, if we look at it, this bead down here is going to be the bottom. This is going to be one side. We need 1 bead at the top and 1 bead on the side there. So if I use this bead just here, sorry, this thread just here, just re-thread my needle real quick. There we go. If you have a look, like I said, we want to add a bead here, and then we want 1 bead here. Now, if you've been paying close attention to how this right angle weave business with 2 threads works, we pretty much always end up with both threads coming out the same, of opposite sides of this same section. So if you of this same little bead here. So the first thing I'm going to do is pick up 1 bead, which is going to be this one here. And now I need to just pick up 1 bead that both threads are going to go through. So if we have a look at that, I will take 1 bead, 1 needle through that bead, and I'll take my other needle here through that same bead, but see how this thread goes in this direction? We're going to go in the opposite direction, and then when we pull that tight, that's going to sit nicely in that little position there, and we're ready to continue. Now if we have a look, like I said, I'll do it once more. See how this thread is on the inside, like towards the inside of our work? We want to continue. So the first thing we do is go up that edge just there. So go through there, and now we're ready to add our next right angle weave. So I'll do it in the exact same way, and then I'm going to show you the Speedy Gonzalez method, my new method, which is way quicker. So we're going to pick up 1 bead, which is going to go there, and just to make life a bit quicker, I'll pick up the 1 bead, which is also going to go there. I'll thread them down, and I'll take my second needle. See how we're going through it in this direction? My second needle is going to come back through that bead in the opposite direction, and then as we pull them both tight, just bring my thread over here. As we pull that tight, Ta-da! That's nicely in position, and we are ready to continue. Now, are you ready for the speedy method? The speedy DD method. Personally, I think I'm very clever for this. Not to sound big-headed or anything. No, but I think you'll like this. So if you liked how I did my speedy DD method at the beginning, if you have a look, so first things first, we want to make sure that we're exiting from one of these sort of edge beads here. So let's go through that very first one here. And so if we were doing normal 2-needle method, we'd pick up one and then we would cross over. But wait till you see this. I think you're going to like it. This is going to be easier to see if I turn my work sideways, which I'll turn it over a bit. There we go. So now that I've got it turned over, see, this one is the one that is going through the middle of my work. So it's through the one that was on the inside just here. And then this one is going to just sit on the outside for now. So for now, I'll just get rid of this thread. We can forget about this one for a little bit. So see how I'm exiting from this one at the bottom? If you pick up, do you know what? I have got it flipped over the wrong way. I do want it this way. There we go. So there we are. If I pick up, ready? This is gonna this is gonna blow your minds, I think. Let's pick up 1, 2, 3 beads, and then see how we've got these edge beads? We're going to skip the next one. See that? So there's that edge bead. We're going to skip this one. We're going to pass into the second one. See? Just like this here. So pass through there, pull that tight, not very tight, but a little bit tighter. And now we're ready to continue. Pick up 3 more beads, 1, 2, 3, and you can work all the way down your bracelet doing this. So pick up 3 more, skip one, and go into the second one. So because I've got like an odd number of ends, I can't do it because there isn't one to attach to this next part. But if it was longer, you could just keep going until you're exiting either from the very, very last right angle weave or from the very second last right angle weave. So now that we're here, now we can start on our next method to start turning these into right angle weaves. So I'll do it in my hand so that you can see exactly where the beads are. So if you have a look, this is the first group of 3 beads. So see that? There's the first 3 beads on my finger just here. So if you have a look, what we need to do now, when the thread is on the outside, because we want to create a right angle weave, we want a bead to be sitting here, we're going to pick up 1 bead and we're going to go backwards. So see that group of 3 beads that we added? There they all are. We're going to go backwards through the first one. Pull that through, and that creates our first right angle weave. Now, with my thread exiting down here, I'm going to go forwards through the edge bead that I missed earlier. Pull that tight, and now we're going to go backwards again through the 3rd bead. So this was the first bead, this is the second, now here's the 3rd bead. So we go up that 3rd bead, backwards, and that's going to bring us, now you can pull your threads tight every now and again, and that's going to create a second right angle weave. So now we're on the outside again, so let's pick up 1 bead, and if you have a look, here's our next group of 3 beads just here. I'll do it flat on the table this time so that you can see it a little bit better. So if we have a look, here is that group of 3 beads just there. I'll get them a little looser so you can see, like that. Coming out of here, we're going to go backwards through the first one, pull it through. We're going to go along the bottom to the one that is disconnected, the loose one, but we're going to go through it forwards, like so. And then we're going to go backwards through the 3rd bead. So we go backwards, forwards, backwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. And then all of a sudden, ta-da, you've got all these right angle weaves. You can see now, unfortunately, I can't do that method again, so you just have to do your normal right angle weave method for the final couple. So if we just have a look just here, I'll go pick up 2 beads. It's a shame. You would have to do just one more, but I'm going to have to do 2 more iterations just to make sure, but we'll get ourselves nicely at the end. So that'll just finish it off. But when you're doing a really long piece, it saves so much time in the long run when you can use this method. So there we go. Let's just cross that over. Take this down here. Obviously, you would have more than just 2 iterations with which you would do it, but when you do it like that, it ends up so much quicker. So then this one here, and now I'll just do my last little right angle weave. I'm going to go 1, 2, slide it on down, and then I'll just go in the opposite direction through that last bead, pull that tight, and then lock that into place, and there we are. Now we have a single little strip of 2 rows of right angle weave. So it works so much faster when you do it like this, because you can, of course, continue tightening it, but look how neat your right angle weave is. And you'll find that the process of adding the beads after this is way easier when you do it like this. So basically now, at this point, I'm going to weave myself so that both threads are exiting from, so if we just imagine that this is the bottom of our work just here, because this will be how this is what I'll start putting my chevrons onto. We want to make sure that we're exiting from one of the 2 sides. It doesn't matter if you're coming out of this side or if you're coming out of this side. It doesn't matter. Both threads, one needs to come out of the bottom of a right angle weave towards the outside, and the other needs to be from the top of the first right angle weave also towards the outside. So I'll weave myself around. This bead is already in position. See, it's the bottom of the very first right angle weave and towards the outside. So I'm going to go through this one here, all the way through, and now I'm going to go out through that bead there and across to just lock them into place so they're both going in that same direction. See that? And this brings us now into position, ready to start adding our chevrons. See that? So we have 1 bead exiting towards the outside of the bottom right angle weave, and we have 1 bead exiting towards the outside of the right angle weave from the top of this first little one here. So see, there's that first right angle weave. This is the very first bead exiting outwards. This is the bottom one exiting outwards. So it doesn't matter which one you pick first, but now we're going to start working in our size 10 seed beads. So if I just grab myself some of those little seed beads just here, here we go. I've got 3 colors. You can use 4 colors. You can use 2 colors. You can use 1 color if you want to. I'll zoom out so you can see. Here we go. I'll show you what my colors are. So this one here is from the Mountain Mist kit, which has transparent blue for the base, but then you've got these 3 gorgeous colors here. So you've got like a blue, a purple, and this fantastic pink tone as well. These are the color for the Mountain Mist. Now the question is, and I want you guys to comment in, shall I do it with a pattern or shall I do it just higgledy-piggledy random? It's up to you whether or not I do it higgledy-piggledy random or if I do it like with a pattern. See, look, this is what it can look like if you do it more regularly. So you can see I've got 2 of this color, 2 of this color, 2 of this color, 2 of this color, and so on all the way down. Or you can do it a bit more random, where this one, see how I got 2 here, then 1, and 1, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 1, and 2, and so forth. It's up to you. Shall I do it in a random order, or shall I do it in a more even pattern? Maybe I'll do it in an even pattern, you know? Just because I realized I've already got the other one, which is all higgledy-piggledy. So maybe I'll do this one as more even. Becky says, I'm definitely going to have to try to watch this again. Well, it's very easy. If you want to watch this tutorial again, I mean, especially if you want to put it in slow motion, pause, rewind, fast forward, whatever it is you want to do, if you head to the Bead Spider website, which is www.beadspider.co.uk, you can view our tutorials from our tutorial library, where we have all of them readily accessible for you to watch anytime, any place, whenever you want, right there as well. Right, let's just pattern, even, random, pattern. This is what it says so far. I'm going to go with the pattern. We'll do it like a pattern. So the pattern is the easier way, for sure. Well, I say that. Both are very easy. So now that we're exiting from these two little beads, just pick one of them. It doesn't matter which. So we'll pick that up just here. And what we'll do is we pick up, I'll do it in a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little beads. So see that? I've got 7 beads just there. These are size 10 beads that we've got just here. And once I've got these, what I'm going to do is essentially skip upwards. So if you have a look, I'm currently exiting from this bead just here. So I zoom in. There we are. So see this? This is the first right angle weave. What we're going to do, see how we've got like a spine of beads running down the center of this row of right angle weaves. See there? So this is the bottommost one, then here, then here, then here, then here. We're going to go through every second one. So for example, this bead, I'm going to join it to this bead. I'm going to skip this one here and go into this one. Then I'm going to skip this one here and go into this one. Then skip this one here and go into this one, and so on all the way down our bracelet. So now, if we go down, I'm exiting from this side. What we're going to do is weave across. So we're going to jump across and weave towards the outside again. So see that? There it is in position, ready to just pull through. Oops, need to put that back there. There we go. So if I just pull that through. There you go. You can see it's going to create this little ridge on the top. But now our thread is back into that same position. So now I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this time, we're going to skip, we're exiting this bead here. We're going to skip the first one. We're going to go into the second one, but just like before, we're going to come from the outside towards the inside, skip that first bead, and then go from the inside towards the outside. So we're threading towards the outside every time. If your thread gets caught, don't worry, just lift it up, and there you go. That's going to add our next one. So now we'll pick up our third color. So I'll pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And once again, we're going to skip the first bead and going from the inside towards the outside. We're going to go through that little bead and pull it all the way through. This is definitely easier in your hands, but I'm trying to keep it visible for you, so that's why I'm doing it flat on the table. I'll grab another 7 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And once again, we're going to skip the first bead, and we're going to go from the outside into the inside. Sorry, towards the outside. And we're going to pull that all the way through, hold my thread up a bit so it doesn't get caught. There we go. And that adds another little loop. So now I will add one more. So we'll go pink again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 little beads. And our last one, we're going to skip this bead here. We're going to, and then go into that one there. So let's go through there towards the outside, pull it tight, and that's going to just loop nicely again onto the top of our work. So there we go. That's going to add that's part one of doing this process. See, that's part one. So now we're going to do the same thing again. All you have to do is now take the thread, the other thread that we didn't use. So I'm going to go with the same order of beads. So we'll go blue first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'll turn it sideways just so that you can sort of see it from a different direction. We're going to skip this first bead here, and if you have a look, there's another size 8 hiding underneath just there. See that one? This is the one we want to go into. So coming out of this is the outside of our work. We're going to loop backwards and go up through that bead just there, pull tight, and that's going to give a little loop next to the other one. See that? Now I'll go 7 more pink beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm exiting from this bead. We're going to skip this first bead, and we're going to go into, if I just move this little bit of thread out of the way, hopefully you can see it, that one there. So skip one and into the second one, but it'll always be underneath the loop from the previous row. So inside there towards the outside of our work, and then just lift your thread up, there we go, and into that gap. How's that looking? So now let's do it again, shall we? Let's pick up 7 purple beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're exiting from the little bead that is underneath here. We're going to skip this one here, and we're going to go into the third one once more. There we go. And once again, I can just position this approximately where I want it to be, and then pull my thread tight, and it will fill that little gap. There we are. Now I'll pick up the blue ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 little blue ones. And we're going to skip the first bead. We're exiting from here. We're going to skip the one here, and we're going to go through the one here. So through there, towards the outside once again, and pull it all the way through. I tell you, this is definitely more difficult trying to do it flat on the table for you all to see, but hopefully it's all looking quite good. There we are. And finally, 7 more little pink ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're exiting here, we're skipping this one, and we're going out the second one. There you are. So pull that one through as well. Just get my thread in position. There we are. Behave, my little friend. There we are. And that brings us now so that both threads are exiting from the very, very top right angle weave. So if we looked, I started down here at the bottom, I'd have added beads, and now I'm exiting one bead from the bottom. It doesn't matter which one is at the bottom, and one is from the top. See that? One from the bottom, one from the top. So now what I need to do is weave around so that I am exiting from my second row of beads, but I need to be going towards my other set of work. So if I flip it over, it's way easier to look like that. And it's easier if you flip it over, you can see what you're doing a bit better. I'm going to weave around so that, see how my 2 threads, one is exiting this way, one is exiting this way. We want to exit this direction in the same direction, but from this row here. So from this bead and this bead, so it'll be towards our other row. So this thread I'll take through here, here. Follow the right angle weave, don't jump across. So we'll go up. And now, see, we're going the wrong direction. We don't want to be going out of our work. We want to be going inwards. So I'll go down through that bead. And now into the middle here. So see that? See, now I'm exiting you know how before, look, see how this thread is exiting in this direction? When I go through here, this thread will be exiting in that same direction. We want to make sure we're always working in the same direction. So I'll put that down. I'll now take my other thread through my work here so that it is also coming out of that little base. The good thing about doing this process is it also firms up our work on the top. So we can go through there, just follow the right angle weave, follow the natural path, looping around up here till eventually, there we are, and I'll come out here as well. Now that I can turn it over, see, look, I've got one thread exiting here, the other thread, it's on the underside, but it is also exiting here, so that now, turn it over so you can see. I hope I've given myself enough thread, otherwise that will be very annoying. There we go. That one is just there, this one is just here, and they're both exiting towards this direction. So, very, very easy now to continue. Just once again, we're going to pick up one thread at a time, and we're going to work with it. I might start with this thread this time. So see this one here, I'm exiting from this little bead just here. So which row of 7 beads is the closest to that? That's what you got to examine. This one here is right where this one begins. So see that? The bead beside it, this little bead inside there, this row of 7 is attached to that bead. So the one that's directly across, I want to go through these same beads again. So first things first, we're going to go up the first 2 beads. See that? Just 2 of the beads. Not any more than that, just 2. Pull your thread tight, make sure it doesn't get caught on any of your other beadwork. There we go. Get that tight, get this tight, there we go. And now I'm exiting from these 2 beads here. I'll turn my work over so it's a little bit easier, because working away from myself I find is much easier. So there you go. You can see I'm now exiting from these 2 little beads just here. We're going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads this time. The reason we only need to pick up 5 is because if you think about it, this is bead 6 and this is bead 7. So these ones here, there's 5, 6 and 7. And now what we're going to do is exactly the same process. So see how we're exiting this bead here? We're going to skip 1 bead and go into the second one in the same direction. So you can take the thread all the way through if you want to, and then through these 2 beads, or while you're there, if you find it easy, you can also go through those 2 beads. It's up to you whether you do it in 1 step or in 2 steps, but pull that tight and that becomes a little chevron shape. So now we're in position. You can see I'm exiting these 2 blue beads. So if we say this is bead 1, 2, we're going to pick up 5 more, which gives us a total of 7, so that the 2 sides are symmetrical. We're exiting this bead, skipping the first one into the second one. So we're working in the same direction, and then I'll go through the first 2 beads. So if you do this in your hand, I find this easier. See that? You can go through there and then the 2 beads. Pull tight. So now we're coming out of a purple one. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads. We're exiting this one here. We're going to skip this one and into the next, and these 2 little beads as well. See that? Pull that through. And now we're in the pink ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we've already got 2 of them. Skip the first and into the second one, plus these 2 little beads here. Whoops. There we go. Just those 2. And then as we pull that tight, we're now almost in position. We're going to add our last one. 1, 2. Let's give myself a little bit extra thread there. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now, once again, we're going to go, we were through here, we're going to skip this one and into the second one. And that's going to give us half of our chevrons done. See that? How is that looking? What do you think? So we're halfway there now. We're living on a prayer. So now that I'm exiting from this bead, first thing that we're going to do is go up through the first 2 beads of this chevron. So we'll pull that tight. And I'll pick it up again so you can really see what I'm doing. And because I've got pink here, let's get this out the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What do we think of the colors, everybody, by the way? Exiting this bead, skip the first one, and into the second one. So see that there? There's the second one. And then we want to go through the first 2 beads as well. So see that? There's those first 2 beads. Go through there. Pull it tight. Let's get that up above. And there we go. Now we'll pick up 5 more blue ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're exiting this one. We're going to skip this one here and go into the next one, plus the 2 following beads. See? Pull that up all the way, pull it tight, and there we are. See, it's coming together quickly and nice, isn't it? Now I'll do my purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip that first one, into the second one, and through the first 2 seed beads. By the way, if you miss the first seed bead, don't worry, it'll be probably hidden under there. See, like I almost did just then, see? If you miss that first seed bead, it's not the end of the world. You'll probably never notice from underneath. But if you are a stickler for perfection, I'm sure you'll want to make sure you don't miss it. 3, 4, and 5. So now we'll skip the first one, into the second size 8, and the following 2 little blue ones. There we go. Pull tight. What are we thinking? What do you think of this design? What do you think of the idea? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think of the look of it? I mean, it's a very simple little design, isn't it? So now all we have to do is skip this one and into this last one here, down there. And now if we compare it to where we were before, we've got 1 thread. If I have a look, 1 thread from this final right angle weave, just here. 1 thread is coming out of the top, and 1 thread is coming out of the bottom of that right angle weave. We can just pull those threads tight. In fact, I'll take this one down through to the bottom so I can see what I'm doing. And there you go. There is your lovely little chevron bracelet. You can keep going. See, this is why we've given you, I'll show you the difference, the transparent color for your seed beads, because it just hides inside of the work so much better. These little transparent beads, they disappear completely when you're wearing them, where you do also see the darker, more opaque beads. But anyway, that is essentially what you would do. If you want to make it the wider version, all you would have to do now is weave yourself to be exiting from this little bottom bead, and then you can work back down and forth, adding an extra row in right angle weave, then add your chevrons on the top. Then if you want to make it triple width, add another right angle weave, and then add your chevrons on top. Of course, if you want to, you can do the entirety of your base, so all of the right angle weave and then all of the chevrons. It's up to you, but how you do it is not a problem. Whatever you fancy, that's how you can do it. But essentially, that is the technique just there, and how you can turn it into beautiful things like this. So if we have a look now, I can show you. The great thing is I'll pretty much just finish up there. So if we have a look now, you've got 4 different colors if you want to choose from. So you can do it, like I said, as a single, which this one's all random. This one's even more random. You can do it completely regular, Of course, I am going to put the pattern for this onto the Bead Spider website. Hopefully, over the weekend, maybe early next week, we'll see for how you can actually make this little fella. But basically, once you've got that done and dusted, you have that. There we go. Once you've learnt that technique, you can make it extra long. You can make it double width. You can make it triple width, whatever the width you want to do. And then we've given you some really cool instructions on how to make this really cute little beaded clasp as well. I was going to go through it, but I've run out of time for today, so I will have to miss that one, unfortunately. But of course, you can get it from the instructions. Now, I will show you on the Bead Spider website. So if you go to the description where you are, there's a couple of links which will take you straight to where you can get today's materials and products. Just hit that little link and it will take you to the Bead Spider website. Otherwise, www.beadspider.co.uk, and you will arrive at our Bead Spider website. So from here, we're going to continue. From here, you can get yourself the kit if you want to. So if you have a look, see where it says this big picture where it says single width, double width, triple width, or even a wrap version. That's coming in a second. There you go. Or wrap style. So those are the different styles. Click on that and that will take you to where you can buy the products. Otherwise, underneath, just here, this button here, watch the tutorial. So if you are like the lady who was here earlier who said, oh, I'm going to need to see this again. Was it Becky maybe? I don't know. But anyway, if you want to watch the video again, you click that button. It'll take you to this page where all you need to do is click this play button and you can watch it on the Bead Spider homepage. We do also have a whole tutorial library. So you can go on here and watch, I think it's in excess of 150 tutorials that we've done now. Otherwise, if you click the link in the description, so if you're on Facebook, that is up above. If you're on YouTube, it is down below. The link will take you, the link where it says, hey, make your own. It'll take you to this page just here where you can get the kit. So if you want to make the desert sands only, you can get it just here. If you want to make the mountain mist, which is that purple one, you can do that from here. If you want to make the tranquil lagoon, you can do that from here. Or if you want to get the tropical sunset, it is just here. Each one of these kits, this one can be made into a single, a double, a triple, or a wrap. This one here can be made into a single, a double, a triple, or a wrap. Same again, single, double, triple, or wrap. Or this one here, single, double, triple, or wrap. Now, if you do just make singles, for example, or maybe a double, you can actually make up to 3 bracelets. So because you have enough beads to make a triple width, if you're making just a single width, we've given you enough beads to make the beaded clasp so that you could make 3 of them. So actually for this kit, if you wanted to, you could make 3 bracelets. If you wanted to make a double wrap and a single wrap, you'd make 2 bracelets. If you want to make a triple wrap, or you want to make the triple width, you'll make 1 bracelet, but it's up to you how you do it. Now, if you want to get a discount, if you want to save 15%, if you click on this little thing up here, this product just here is the one where you can get all 4 kits, all of them, 15% off. So you click on this, you add to basket, you get 1 of this, you get 1 of this, you get 1 of this, and you get 1 of this one down here too, all 4 of them, and you save 15%. So instead of the full price, you're actually getting them at a much reduced price. So instead of, if we look at it in pounds, 63.80, it comes down to 54.20. Basically, you're saving £10. And you could make up to 12 bracelets with this. So if you bought this bundle, especially if you make to sell, I mean, it's a very gorgeous summery bracelet that you'll be making. If you want to make this one to sell it, you can do so because you'll make 12 bracelets from the 1 kit. So there's definitely profit to be had for those who are our savvy beaders who also sell their jewelry. Now, I'll just head back to the home page. If you have a look over here on the right where it says previous shows, underneath there is the 4 components in one ivy beaded necklace. So if you click on that one, this is your last chance to get the discount. So if you want to get the ivy necklace, which is made up of 4 components, I did a video tutorial on this one. It was very, very, very popular. We've managed to scrape together a little bit of extra stock so that we can actually put together more kits. So there is just a little bit of stock, not a lot. If you want to get this one, you can do. Again, it's the full price if you want to just get one. Or over here, choose any 2 or more. You click on this one where it says choose any 2 or more. You can select this big button down here that says select options. And from here, you can say, I want a wisteria and I want a cherry blossom. You'll get your discount. If you think, do you know what, I also want a water lily, you'll get your 15% off that too. Any more that you want to get, 15% off. 15% off. Every time you order one more, you get 15% off. As long as you've got at least 2 inside your basket, you will get that 10% discount from that one just there. So this one here, or here, as long as you've got at least 2, you will get a 10% discount. One last thing though that I should mention, this particular kit, this week's kit and last week's kit and the week before and the week before and the week before that, we always include your instructions if you buy one of our kits. But if you just want to get the instructions, you don't want to get the kit, you can also do that. We try and put them on in advance, but sometimes that just does not happen. If you want to get the pattern on its own, if you buy a kit, you get the pattern for free. If you don't buy a kit, you can just buy the pattern, just add it to basket, and you can just get that. It will tell you everything you need to know from beginning to end on how to make the entire process for that particular kit, whichever pattern it is that you want. You can view our entire library of patterns. So up here at the top where it says kits and tutorials in the middle, if you go to the patterns section, so this one says kits, this one says learning tools, the third one is our patterns. If you go all patterns, you can just scroll on through, and we have hundreds now of patterns that you can get. Some are for free, some are £3, some are £2, some are £5, £7.50. The prices are all different based on what it is that you want to get. But yeah, like for example, this one here, completely free if you want to learn how to make this. Over here, the herringbone necklace with these really cool, interesting beaded sections in the middle, £7.50. The matching bracelet, £6.50. The matching ring, £3.50. Or we have a pattern bundle of the ring and the bracelet and the necklace all together, $12.25. So essentially you get a third off. It's more than, I think it's about getting the bracelet for free, almost. So yeah, go check them out. We have 3 pages worth of patterns that you can go through and have a look at. Very, very good ones. Free, paid, whatever it is that you want to get. They're all just there. See, look, there's the ivy. My mermaid odd count peyote, which is a very good one, which shows you how to make odd count peyote, and also this fantastic hexagonal clasp as well. Lots and lots of different ones. Go check them out. Go check them out if you want to. Anyway, that is pretty much it for me for today. I hope you've had lots and lots of fun learning how to make that fantastic design. Like I said, I'm hoping that I will be doing a tutorial on my method of doing right angle weave. So those of you who wanted to see it will get a better view of that super cool right angle weave double needle method that's ultra fast. I'm hoping I'll get a video out with that. But if you don't know, we go live. I'm live every Friday, 3 p.m. UK time, which whatever the time was an hour and a quarter ago it is if you're watching live. So it is 4:15 p.m. here. If you are in the UK, it's 3 p.m. If you are in the US, on the East Coast, I think it's 10 a.m. The West Coast is 7 a.m. on a Friday. In Australia, I think it's around about midnight. Rhonda, you're watching. Hopefully you can comment in and tell me exactly what time. Monica, who's watching in Borneo, I think it's probably around about 10 p.m. for her as well. So yeah, we've got a lot of dedicated beaders who watch. But anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching. We've still got lots of people here who are watching. Becky said, love this. Rhonda said, it looks amazing. I'm glad you liked it. Dulcie said, looking fabulous. Deb also loves it. Angelica, I love the colors. Eugenia says, I love this, but this is why I need to buy the pattern and the kit. Well, you don't need to buy both, just one. If you buy a kit, you will get the pattern as well. So don't buy both. Don't buy both. You don't need to. Irina says, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I have to go bye till next Friday. Thanks for joining us, Irina. Rachel, thanks for watching in Canada. Becky says, will the pattern explain how to make it wider? Yes, the instructions that you will get with the kit will show you how to do the extra width pieces. It tells you the full process on how to do it as an extra wide one or an extra long one. It's up to you. But yeah, that is going to be included in the pattern. But yeah, so thank you all very, very much for watching me. And all of you for joining. And Sandy says, thank you for showing a faster way to right angle weave. Enjoy your weekend. So thank you all very, very much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I've just realized that it is time for me to go and watch the sprint race of the Formula One. It's on in Austria right now, so I better go. I gotta run. But yeah, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Same place, same time. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all then. Thanks very much, and bye-bye.